I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter, and tonight I have a cute little DIY for you. It's this little lamp for a side table, or for anywhere, I suppose, with a bit of a farmhouse feel to it. You can make it, probably could glam it up if you choose to, just choosing different colors of paint, but I'm going to go a little bit for the farmhouse decor, so because I know that's real popular right now and people seem to like it a lot. So anyway, let's get into it, but first, if you would, hit the little subscribe button down there and the little bell that pops up next to it so that anytime I upload a new video, you will be able to see it. You'll be the first to know. You'll be in the know. So, alrighty, let's do it. Is take the rolling pin and we're going to put a little bit of paint on there. I'm going to do this particular paint. It doesn't have to be an outdoor paint. This is just what I had on hand. White paint. You can pick any color you'd like. I'm going for the white because it seems to be the farmhouse decor thing to do. So I'm only putting a little bit because I don't necessarily want to have a really wet brush. This wood is already so light anyway, it's not really showing up all that much, but I'm sure if you pick maybe like that kind of beach teal color that's also really popular right now, that would look great. But kind of go whatever your room decor. You might even want to do this black. Don't paint the ends because we're going to be gluing on those. And I don't even know if you can see this white paint doing anything on here in the video, except probably painting my fingers. Okay, we're going to let that sit and dry for a bit. We're going to add a little bit of color to these placemats. Don't worry about these end pieces. Those are actually going to get cut off. There's one. Well, I think that looks pretty close to the other one. So while these are drying, I'm going to work on the next step, which is this little cup thing. This is from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use this twine. This twine actually that I showed on there, I got it from Walmart. And you can use any twine you want. You can use a thicker one or a thinner one if you want. This is the one I found. I like the size. It seemed to be workable. So I'm going to go with this one. Price-wise, this is a huge roll, so it worked out to be a really good value. So add a little bit of your hot glue right here along this bottom edge to get this started. We're going to be covering this little container completely, going around and covering it with this jute twine. Full of rope right below the one you're about to glue on. So pretty much apply it to the top of the rope and then attach this to the rope as opposed to putting it on here. So just a little tip I'm seeing as I'm going along. Instead of coming and gluing from the top, just pushing your string down, which will cause the glue to goop out this side, come from the outside and press it down so that way it's pushing the glue more to the inside of here where we don't care if the inside shows. That's just kind of something I'm figuring out as I go along. So if I can help you in any way, Why not? By the way, watch your fingers on the inside, because when you put that glue on there, it is holes, and if it can burn you through there. Just so happens my hands are ice cold as usual, so I don't think the glue stands a chance with me, but my hands harden it instantly and it doesn't even burn me. Story of my life. Cold hands. Warm heart. When you get to the end here and you're at the top of your container, you want to make sure that you stop so that it's completely flush. You don't want the rope sticking up further, because this is what's going to be the base under your glass here. So I suppose if you really want to, you can put rope on the whole thing. Now we're going to be using our E6000 because it's a clearer glue, and we're going to put some of that around on the top part. You can put a little bit of glue, your hot glue as well, to kind of hold. A little bit more immediate hold. Center your tray and press it down. Our rolling pin is going to be going on top, but the glue will show a bit. Maybe we can throw some more twine on there if it shows too much once it's dry. We'll have to play that by ear and see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to take our rice cooker, and this side here has the solid rice cooker. Vegetable steamer, sorry, and I guess I don't know what else they steam in here, but anyway, has this top part which has more of a solid top, and then the base which has the separations. This one with the separations is going to go on the top part of our light so that we can get some light illuminating out. This one here is going to go on the bottom part so it holds the shape of our lamp. So we're not going to get a whole ton of light out the bottom of the lamp. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to make a glue circle here, because we want to cut out the circle so it will fit our rolling pin through, but we don't want this to completely fall apart in the process. So there's our glue circle. Okay, now that the glue has cooled off, I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to use these garden shears that I got from the Dollar Tree, because they're a little stronger than scissors. Cut the little handle off. Probably if you have an X-Acto knife available, that would be a good way to do it. I want to get in there under some of these bamboo pieces. And start cutting away at them. Sorry to cover it, I don't want it to go flying. There we go. Okay. We have ignition. Once you're able to get through that, which you see it's not the easiest task, I'm guessing an X-Acto knife would probably have been a much easier way to go. Okay, we have our hole cut here. I'm going to go ahead and feed the rolling pin right through there. And we're going to just leave about, I don't know, what is that about? Maybe 3, use my finger, you know, they say each joint is like an inch. So it's about 3.5 inches or so, but it doesn't have to be exact. Once you get it there, you're going to put some glue around the base of it on the inside to hold it in place. And we're going to let that dry a bit. Take your placemat, go on the back side. What we're going to be doing is cutting this piece off, but because these pieces are attached with string, we want to make sure that we glue the back side so that the whole thing doesn't unravel on us and come apart. So right here on this edge, go through following along the lines of the bamboo skewer, more or less. Now that the first placemat has cooled down, we have our glue here. You're going to go off and cut off this extra little trim piece here. I'm cutting right next to where my glue is, and I'm following along one of the sticks. So that's how the end comes out. You don't have to worry about it coming apart now. I forgot to mention that on one of the 2 placemats, you are going to want to do both ends. Our next step is to take the top piece that we had, which I guess technically is the bottom piece, but we're using it as a top, and we're going to be gluing it centered onto the top of the rolling pin, putting all the glue on the top of the rolling pin, and then as best we can to center it. After that, we have our one placemat that has both ends cut off of it already, and we're going to take and glue that all the way around here, making the shade for our lamp. I'm going to put a line of glue and another line of glue on the top part. So we're going to go all the way around and glue that into place. Okay, so that's as far as one placemat reaches, and now you can see why we cut only one side of the other placemat. So I'm going to need to measure and see how much of this placemat we're going to be needing. And to do that, I'm setting it down at the edge and rolling it forward. And if you have a marker, just make a small dot. Nothing too showing, but okay, I made my little dot here. I'm going to put some glue there like we did, and then we'll be cutting off that piece as well so that it can fill in our final section of our lampshade. Before we glue that on there, we need to put the lights in there. Now these are the Dollar Tree lights that have the little butterflies. There's a lot of different types of them. I'm actually pulling the butterflies off. I don't really want them for this particular project, and who knows, I may be able to use them for something else. They're kind of cute, actually. So what we're going to be doing actually is feeding them in through the top so that we have access to the battery pack. So go ahead and feed it through the space here on top. Okay, so now that I actually know that they work, I'm going to go ahead and carry on and get these wrapped around. This is a little challenging because of having already glued the other piece on, so bear with me here. Just going to wrap around and round and round your rolling pin. Okay, once you get it all wrapped around, the last thing is to get that last little section glued. You can use your glue gun. Don't use a whole lot of it because it may melt the rubber. So put a little bit onto the wood. I know it's really hard to see and I don't have a good angle or good lighting, but put it on there, let it cool for a tiny little second. Before it completely cools, put the light on there. Okay. Now we're going to be attaching the battery pack, and you want to leave the side that has the screw in it so that you can open up and replace the batteries at some point. So we're going to put a bit of glue on those crossbars. And glue down our battery pack. Now we're going to go back and give it a shot gluing on this piece since we got the lights in there. So this is what we have so far. The next thing we're going to do is take some of our jute twine again, and I'm going to put it around this bottom edge, and I may haphazardly decide to also wrap it around. Not sure yet on that. I'm going to sort of play that by ear. There's the one side. We're going to do the top now. This is how mine came out, just wrapped. However, what I'm going to do, I started it down here and I also ended it there. What I'm going to do now is add a little bit of glue in a couple strategic spots so that this string doesn't move around on me. So I ended up gluing only where I felt like places were loose, and somewhere, say like up here where it's not, where it's kind of coming up and then down, I just sort of glued that spot. The next thing we're going to do is attach this to our base. So this, we're going to use our E6000 as well as the glue gun, so it'll have a longer term hold. Center it on your base and hold it there in place a little bit. Now for mine, it looks like some of the glue is actually, whoops, you can't really see from that angle. It looks like some of the glue is actually showing a tiny bit, which I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is actually take some of the jute cord as well and wrap it just around that little bottom part. I ended up putting a bit of the jute cord around this edge here just to tie in the glass with the all the rest of the kind of rustic looking and woodsy looking things on it. Turns out this is kind of feeling really nautical to me too, and not as much as a farmhouse decor, but I'm sure you could probably use it either way. And if you want to make it even more nautical, you could probably glue on some shells in a few spaces, or I don't know, just whatever little maybe embellishments that are remind you of the sea. So you can play with it and see what you want to do. The other option that I talked about potentially is if you want to make this more of a glam look, you could always put diamond wrap around here, diamond wrap around the base. Also do that, whatever we've done with the jute twine can be done with the diamond wrap strips. You can spray paint the bamboo, it's not actually bamboo, maybe it is, the Bamboo Placemat Silver. There are so many options if you want to change it up, if you want to modernize it a bit. Also, you could spray paint your rolling pin either black or silver to tie in. So use your imagination. Don't be stuck in just one thing because I showed it to you with jute and with bamboo placemat. Feel free to try other things. Just you want to try and find something that's going to allow the light through. So whatever you decide to do. All right, let's go check it out all lit up.